Alrighty, and we are all ready and set here for Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected. That is being run by Alexis Goes Moo. So why don't you take it away, Alexis? Yes, because Shulk did win that bid war.
That's it.
All right.
Please hang tight with us. We are having some technical difficulties. You will be hopefully hearing the runner's audio here momentarily. We are going to reset and give us a quick moment while we work out these technical difficulties, and we will be resuming the run as soon as possible. Yes, the refresh upgrade incentive. Yes, actually, thank you for mentioning that. That is actually just got mentioned by chat. It's a very comfy game. The Mass Mango was quite excited for it. As was mentioned a little bit earlier, that is currently sitting at 90%. That is a $15 incentive to get it to an upgraded to 100% category. That will involve getting all achievements and a couple of the gathering all the solar cells. That's what I was trying to remember, and finishing the game as fast as possible. Really love seeing more marathons. So hopefully that incentive does get met. Very excited to see that. Supporting a Canadian charity, so you do have to keep in mind the exchange rates. You can check the exchange rates by doing exclaim rate in chat. So for example, if the exchange rate for USD to Canadian is about 1 USD to about 1.37 CAD, which means that if you're in the US and want to donate $20 USD, you'd actually be contributing about $27.40 to the cause. Every dollar and cent counts. We really appreciate every single cent and dollar donation that you can provide, and just your support and time and being here and supporting the marathon and supporting our charity. Alrighty, and it looks like hopefully we will have those technical issues fixed. So we are going to give it back once again to Alexis Goes Moo, Alexis, for this run of Xenoblade.
Alright, hello again. So hopefully the audio works, and I will once again go and count down for 3, 2, 1, go. I had to start another file. You have to start a file to start. Save 3 seconds. So quite long.
That's it.
And the first thing is I'm gonna turn on casual mode. It's a lot faster that way. Well, basically it makes you not to be affected by something called the agility gap, and like you can't hit things normally that are too high of level. But the casual mode one that doesn't apply, so I'm not gonna have to grind or anything. I also deal double damage and take half damage, which is equally helpful. Now we're gonna go and switch characters, and I'm gonna unequip some arts and I'll equip some arts. These will make sense in a bit. And the first thing we're gonna do is this is a good way to explain how the shock. The shock, when it hits from the side or back, does more damage, so we gotta see a little exclamation point. And when those happen, I go and get a special effect, like I get physical defense down on the enemy, which makes them die faster, or like you'll break them, slow them down. Which breaks will be a thing later in the run, but it's more or less the main way you fight is you break, which lets you topple and then daze. That's what it is in this game. And we'll do that a little bit in the run. But combat is going to be very fast in this, so hopefully I do a good job at explaining it. Up here, that interrupts their animation, but like normally you get attacked, there's an animation and character stays still. Jumping is slower than walking, but if you're getting hit it's like frames faster. And right now we're gonna be heading towards the... Basically, we were on a ship. We got shot out of the sky. And we are now on the Bionis shoulder, which is where we're gonna be for most of the game. We're gonna go somewhere else for a little bit, but the majority of this takes like... And this is the skip traveling. I'm gonna sometimes skip travel even when I'm really close to the location, because some of them just bring you to places that are really far away from like the... when you get the skip travel to the default position it puts you at. And then sometimes you're gonna do it because the thing is very far away. Like, I went back to Junks, that's our ship. Got crashed. That's actually, this is like another really... This game is a very short run, full of very minor inconveniences, and that's one of them. Those, bald things. Basically, if there's a little red circle under my character, it means they're being attacked. And for some reason, you go into a cutscene, it loads like 3 seconds. Or so, like more slower. It's a bit unfortunate if the enemies see you when you're right. And this guy is gonna be really important later. They're the Bond Inspectors, and we have a side quest with them, but for now they're just gonna kind of auto-attack a little and maybe kill me. Here's the main area of the Bionic Shoulder. It's a really big field, and we're gonna be here for quite a while, as the beginning of the run is a lot of walking to get skip travel points. Like one right here, then I'm immediately just gonna run in a straight line in this direction, and I'm gonna get one that we're kind of far away from, but it gives you it anyway. These two are gonna be things that we use to get the story locations later. Our goal is to go to Alchemoth. We'll see it in the background in a little bit, but we will have to do some stuff. And the closer you're to the edge, the faster you fall. It's kind of a minor thing that happens a few times in the run. So that big gate over there, that's our goal. So you kind of can see there's a little shrub that's a little bigger than the others. I use this as my visual cue for when I get it. And I'm going to do my best to avoid the enemies as I walk over here. And we're doing kind of a skip. Basically, I'm going to jump off this cliff. And then we're gonna go and land here. And we take a lot of fall damage, but we heal it back up. Then I'm gonna jump down again. There is, like, fall damage is set. It's not based on your level or anything, so if I were to just jump down there in one go, I would die. So it's very nice that little rock is there. It allows us to skip a few minutes of movement. Hello, turtles. We're very close to them. They do not see us. That's also the probably scariest skip in the run, as it's the only thing we can't really, like, make 100% safe. As if those, you saw those enemies, they're like lizard people, if they see you, sometimes they can use an art that's like, it has the ability to bind you, which there's a little circle beneath me, and it means I can't move. And that means you will take too much damage, because they'll catch up to you, and you wouldn't be able to do the, skip, because you can't take the fall damage. But thankfully none of that happens, so we don't have to worry about anything.
I was just wondering if we had a moment for a quick update.
Yep, good times.
Okay. I just wanted to let everyone know a quick update about our targets. We have 2 new polls open for Resident Evil 3. That is a run that's coming up later on in the marathon. We have 2 polls actually open for that. The first one is going to be for Carlos's hair, to choose whether to have the default, which is clean shaven and is honestly a John Cena lookalike, or the classic kind of grizzly, more grizzled look. And there's also for Jill's costume to use either the default, the classic, or the STARS uniform costume. All of those look like fantastic options. So those are now open for you to put your donations towards. And we also still have that refresh upgrade category to 100% target open. Remember, when you make a donation, that you can make that donation go towards both a poll and a target. So even if we want to get those met, definitely keep that in mind.
Alright, so anyways, just continuing our journey through Alchemoth. I got the last location, it was that quarry, and we're now going to actually advance towards the story, which is, again, a bit of a walk. Just usually how runs with Xenoblade go. But this run's kind of nice because when we do get all the walking done, it just becomes like 5 to 6 bosses soon. throw, and it's really fun. So we'll get to that part soon. In the meantime, we go to Pillar Knoll, which is these really, really large pillars. And all like bridges made them. It's kind of weird because the island we're going to, you can see that one, the Soldier Seal Island over there, and like, that's not here. This is like the location from the main game. This is like a little bit after, I think it's like a year after or so. I don't know how that island moved here, but it did, and now there's a bunch of bridges to it. Because it wasn't originally in the shoulder. I think the world kind of like moved around a bit. But that's going to be our next goal, Soldier Seal. And then from there, there's going to be a teleport. And I'm going to go on it, and it's going to bring me to Alchemist. Big city you can see in there. I have to make sure I can activate it. The one thing is, you can see I don't have my buttons drawn. If an enemy uses an art that has knockback, or like topples you, you'll be forced to draw your weapons, and then you walk slower when you have a weapon out, and you have to go and put them away when you eventually do get out of combat. So hopefully I don't get forced into combat any, although that flying enemy that you couldn't see, they're kind of like a manta ray, and I think they're the only thing left in the run that can actually force combat. So we're good on that. Right, and in Alchemist, and it's gonna be like pretty quick on screen, but you can see that we're really far away, like there's that whole thing we have to walk. But if you skip the main entrance, it places you in the cutscene. And then the cutscene places you over here, so you save a whole bunch of time. And we're also going to do one of the 2 side quests. Basically, the Pond Specters, we got one of them for the beginning, that one you can't avoid. But, if we get 3 of them of the different colors, we get to use something called Union Strike. And that's gonna be one of our goals, because Union Strike is the fastest boss killer in this game, and is more or less required for us to be able to finish the run. So Dry, his quest is he wants feathers, and so we're gonna go and wander and get them. It's really easy to do because there's no enemies whatsoever here. There's not even like any danger. In fact, both the Pond Spectre quests we're gonna do, there are no enemies. Which makes it really easy because a lot of them are guarded by pretty tough enemies. And yeah, we do skip travel to the we got to get the 5th one just because movement is usually slower than the fast loads of this game. It might take a little while to load like the cutscenes, but loading location to locations are nice. But anyways, it's gonna be time for I guess the first boss fight. I mean, the first fight, I don't think I mentioned this, but we have infinite like auto heal ones, so not much of a fight, but this enemy actually can deal some damage. So hopefully we are... I'm gonna attack them from the side, and I'm gonna use something called Eater. It applies a bleed rebuff, and that doesn't heal any aggro from us, so that's basically aggro is like who they want to hit. And so we ideally never want Shulk about aggro. Because if Shulk has... since all of Shulk's attacks use, resisting, we're gonna really be managing aggro throughout the fight. For that one, I kinda just use the side arts, and usually after backslash, we're just about done. I also was managing, there's a little thing in the middle, it's the white symbol. That's called the talent page. And it kind of matters in that I would like it to ideally be full or nearly full by the next fight. You get it by using either Battle Soul, which is the art I use that takes half my HP, or Auto Attack. And I'm going to need to get an Auto Attack actually in the upcoming fight, just so I can go and use my talent again. As for where we are in the story, we heard someone scream. They were telling me. And that was their laboratory. We rescued them, and then we're gonna go there. They're gonna tell us to go to this town over here. You can see that pillar that's really far away. That's Grandel. So our next goal is to go to Grandel.
Someone need help?
Right. It was actually right on the prediction. The bat. Sometimes they hit you and sometimes they not. They're pretty close, that means they usually do. This is why we can't go down here earlier in the game. Like, it's about half of the map that's just kind of, excuse me, cut off. Because this gate, not the big one actually, the little door, doesn't open until you do the part of the story with, like, House, the boss that I fought. But we did that, and we can now access this part of the map, which is going to be not much of it, to be honest, as we only need one location here, and then we're gonna just be skip traveling around, and we're gonna be getting that one location as soon as we get the grind. So we got there, and then, hello, 1-1. That's the leader of the Pond Specters, but, we don't do anything with them in this category. So our next thing is, first we need to go and shop. It's very important. For some reason, this saves this, weapon I got for Nene. This saves, like, 15 seconds. I guess the damage is really worth it. Then I got a location. And now I'm going to that... It's called Fair. And I'm going to be doing this instead of the story for now, because this is where we get Tutu. And he is the last Pond Spectre ring. We'll unlock Union Street. Which is going to be used very, very, very soon. Tutu has a bit of a silly quest. We're getting his Mira. It's on the island. He won't go and move from the spot, as you'll see him, he's looking at his reflection in the water, and he won't leave because he can't see his reflection. So we'll get this, and skip travel. It saves a little movement, but it's mostly because there's going to be these green enemies over here, and one of them is a unique monster, which is what is chasing us right now. And if they were to start chasing me over here, I wouldn't be able to talk to Tutu.
Good choice.
They some telescope in here. And I'm missing it.
Good choice.
Made me feel how much more sprightly.
Alright, that is all of our content. So I'm gonna go and that was a tutorial from Union Strike. But we'll see how this. Basically, it's a quick time event that does really big damage. From here onward, there's going to be something called the party gauge in the top right, top left. And it's super important. Once you get it full, you can use it to strike. And every fight in the Run for Now one is going to be a attempt to rush to get Union Strike. Okay? Now first, we have to deal with some problems. The main enemy of this game is the Fog. And basically their influence is spreading, and so these enemies are now like with a black aura. Alright, so I used the focus, actually I do that at the beginning of all fights, make the party more aggressive. But I just switched the target to this enemy because, I noticed that the one was very low actually. We might end up switching targets like that, because the influence is spreading so far, it's actually in Grandel now. I'm gonna use Shadow Eye, that lowers the aggro one shot. I'm gonna use Sidars, I'm gonna attempt to get a backslashing. And then from there, we're gonna switch targets.
I concur.
And now we're gonna go and fight a boss again. This is Galgar. He's basically been following the party the entire game. We unfortunately don't see him up until this point, so it's kind of weird with skipping cutscenes, but we're gonna go and use Soul Edge. And hopefully do our first Union Strike. It went quick and the page. Alright. That was good. Unfortunately it also is a stun block. So even though I did perfect, he has a lot of fun. And the fight doesn't end until we stop. So it's kind of nice that that little enemy survives. So anyway, after Galgar, we want to actually be able to fight the Fog. We did try to when we were in Alchemoth, but it didn't work. That's the big thing. That's why we call them the Fog King, is that like they're like fog when you try to attack them. But we're gonna find a big crystal, and that's gonna let us attack the Fog King. So we talked to a soldier who said they don't know anything. But they said this soldier might. They also don't know, but they know a woman named Sarja. And they think that she'll know. So we're gonna meet her. We now get to go and play the game of speaking to Sarja. So, ideally when you speak to an NCP, you like them to be close to you and also facing you. But, unfortunately, a lot of them walk around. We got a pretty good position. We also technically skipped something. We're supposed to go back to Grand Hall, but the item we need spawns as soon as you speak to Sarja, so we're not gonna go. Instead, we're going to go to the query we got at the beginning of the run. Our goal is to get to the next skip travel place, and then die right as we get it. So, I took some fall damage. I'm gonna let this enemy hit. And then hopefully, of the upcoming enemies, hopefully they can hit me. Alright, there's one. That's a good job. This enemy, they always hit you. Now... almost. You can do it. There we go. They did the job of an enemy. And we also were very conveniently behind all enemies, right for the item we need. You can pick up items in is why we have to do it like that. So otherwise we'd have to fight all those. So now we're gonna go and turn in our quest. And do another boss run. I'm gonna try to do a bit of a newer thing for this. We're gonna try to Union Strike this mammoth.
Let's focus our efforts.
Understood. Meaning got it.
Basically, Union Strike might seem like a bit of overkill for this. But, this fight, they eventually are going to use an art called Weakening Howl, and Weakening Howl makes the fight rather lengthy. The risk of this is that the next fight we're going to actually have to do. So we're going to be fighting Untitled. Basically, our goal is to get the meter up as quickly as possible. To do that, I'm going to break all the enemies, and then let's use Cyclone, which lets me go and get a bunch of critical hits. And the more of those I get, critical hits give party aid. Alright, and we got our Union Strike. That was pretty good. And then we have another boss coming up, and we have a new strat. I hope this little page for that. Basically, like Untitled King, we're gonna fight a big dinosaur, and they're gonna have a bunch of little bats, and our goal is gonna be to Cyclone, just like we did for Untitled. Turn her to the ramparts, and hopefully this fight gets up. And where's my time? That's a lot. I'm going to auto attack, 3 damage, that'll get our break. Then I'm going to use Shadow on after Cyclone. And you can see I'm already almost at full gauge. In fact, I'm already at full gauge. That strat is really scary how fast it can be sometimes. I've only recently found that it works because we use Feather Swing and Summon Ice for Melia, so that's a Nene and Melia art, and they hit every target, so that's a lot of chances for critical hits. And that was so fast that I didn't really get to go and describe Dino, but basically, they can be a little bit of a hard fight because the bats can topple you. But, we didn't see any of that. And you might notice I am back to Alchemol. That's because we are at the final boss, which is going to be to the left in the upcoming building. Although, because this is a marathon run, I'm first going to kind of mess with this enemy for a little bit.
Looks like we don't have a choice.
Basically, Gauge is really useful. And so let's just do Union Strike. And I like using Union Strike. So what I did there is I basically just waited until I got that circle that comes from the screen slowly is Burst Affinity. And I basically was waiting for that, or just like critical hits, just to get it up. And also everyone is gonna die back there, but it is okay.
You have?
But basically, I just wanted a little party gauge before I go to the final boss, as they can be dangerous without it. And it will make sense very soon. But they're gonna start with a very scary art called Summon Knights. That's gonna allow summons. These enemies in a group are very dangerous.
Let's focus
Our first thing we're gonna do is get rid of them as quickly as we can.
More We're ready for your assistance.
And we have now gotten. So I'm basically rushing the trade. And you might notice that I'm not doing very good on this PTE. That's because I don't want this boss to die too quickly. So I have sat the controller. The controller is now back. And we're gonna be basically using them as a punching bag to get pretty deep. We are very good.
I admire your efforts,
Okay, let's finish this.
I'm kind of waiting for them to use a certain art. There. No,
We
you
have
got
a-
too far.
Sorry about that. Just wanted to ask if you had a chance for a quick announcement.
Yep.
I admire your efforts,
So just wanted to quickly mention in terms of incentives that we are going to be closing that Robotech category bid war, Rick versus Roy, in just a few minutes because that run is coming up after this one. So definitely want to get your last minute donations in as soon as you can using the Exclaim Donate command to get our Tiltify link in chat. Currently that stands with Rick at $80 and Roy at $40.20. So if you want to go ahead and change those, how that poll is going, you still have a few minutes to do so.
Yep, and that will be very soon as I have just one more health bar here. Once this fella's HP is empty, we will be done there. Which could be very soon, depending on damage rolls. I don't think this unit should be. We'll probably need a little more. Time is...
No use. It keep happening.
Fantastic run.
What are we supposed to do now? Don't give up.
Right.
No matter how many times it
Cutscene, I'm sorry if the ending cutscene's a little loud, by the way.
Our future must be kept safe.
They tend to be like that. But yeah, it was fun to go and do a run of this. If anyone is interested in learning Xenoblade runs, probably the best to start with, as it is very short and there are relatively a small number of fights to learn. So it's quick to get into, and there's a lot of strats. Like what I did was a marathon safe run, but it was still a pretty fast run.
For whatever reason, those
Definitely.
explosions seem to be distorting and destabilizing the rift.
Thank you so much for that run. That was really fun to watch.
Yep, and thank you
haven't
for
gotten to see
having me.
much. Haven't gotten to watch much Xenoblade, so really got to enjoy that.
Please, buy me some time. Grant me your strength, friends.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, Alexis? Any shoutouts, anything like that?
Not that I can think of.
Alrighty then. Thank you so much. We are so glad to have had you here at Prevent-A-Thon. And we will be heading to intermission shortly while we get set up for the next one. That is going to be Robotech at the Macross Sage HD Edition. And so we will look forward to that in just a few minutes.